Hi, it's Teri here. I'm developing some workshops at the moment. As part of that, I've set myself the task of trying to pick my 3 favourite books, and I've been finding it really difficult to narrow it down. So I'm just going to do a brief look at some of my favourites and say why I like them. This is a real mixed group of books, and I'm going to start with some of the things I loved when I was a child. So I've only got one of the series now, but the Pern books by Anne McCaffrey. This is Dragon Song, which is Meneley's story, if anyone knows it. And it's just this amazing world that's a different planet, and they have these things called fire lizards, and they also have dragons, and then people can communicate with them telepathically, and this girl has this bond with the fire lizards. But apart from all of that, I've reread this recently, and just the whole a girl trying to go against her family, against what's expected of her, and work out who she is for herself, I think is a lot of why it really appealed to me. So that's this series here. I probably read those when I was a bit younger, but this would be my next huge thing, which is Tolkien's books. The Hobbit I liked, we had that at school, but The Lord of the Rings especially, loved The Lord of the Rings. And I think it was the first time that I read myself like a massive series that was, full of world building and fantasy elements and stuff. And part of the reason I think it probably stood out to me so much is because it was the first thing like that I read. But this was my own set, and I read them over and over and over again. You see the spines are a bit wrecked. There's just that sense of this massive other world that I think really got me. And at that point, after that, I read a lot of fantasy series and a lot of science fiction series, but the one that really sticks in my mind from back then is this one, the Dune trilogy. So these ones, again, massive, amazing world building, but also this sense of everything being bigger than yourself, everything sort of growing from something small into something that meant something to the universe. That kind of thing just really appeals to me. The rest of these are just completely in random order from my shelves. This one I really liked, Fly Away by Lucy Christopher, and I sort of talk about these two together. The other one, Skellig by David Almond, and I think they both really capture that sense of magic and wonder. Even though there's something going wrong in a child's world, that there's something magical that can take them away from it, and I just loved both of those for very similar reasons. Another one I've got here is Meg Rosoff, How I Live Now. I can never remember the title of this for some reason, so I had to find it. It was probably the first really dystopian. I don't think she tends to call it that, but I do. I think it was the first real dystopian novel that I read, and it's so powerful. The emotional punch that it packs is so powerful. And this is, there's the world's being taken over. There's a war, and everything again is bigger than the characters, and that sort of story just seems to really appeal to me. This one, The Adoration of Jenna Fox, I would put in the dystopian category as well. I read this after I wrote Slated, and I'm glad, because the stories are completely different, but there are elements of them that ring the same to me. And I think if I'd read it first, I would have struggled writing mine. But Adoration of Jenna Fox, something happens to a girl, she's in a horrible accident, and then she comes back, but she's not what she was. It's all these things to do with identity and ethics and things that we can do with science, but should we do them? Stuff that I'm really interested in. This one I didn't read all that long ago. It was probably just a year or two. Frances Harding, A Skin Full of Shadows. Oh my goodness, I loved this. The bear in the story, for anyone who's read it will know what I'm talking about. And the sort of weird psychology of having other things in your head, was just totally up my street. So I really liked that a lot. Then I've got Beauty Sleep by Catherine Evans. Now this one has got the weird science thing to a T, and that again is something that has always appealed to me. Not to mention a very pretty cover. Beauty Sleep, so a girl wakes up, she's been frozen because she had an illness, and she wakes up in the future and everything's changed, but nothing is as it seems, so sets up a great story. Next I've got Indigo Donut by Patrice Lawrence. This is one of those books that is kind of outside the kind of thing that I would probably naturally pick up to read, but I know Patrice and I wanted to read it, and I was so glad that I did. The whole idea of the story, and with me, the thing that really gripped me with this is the psychology of it, that you've got this girl who's grown up in care, and all the things that have happened to her have shaped who she is, and, is she going to come out the other end or not? And the relationship between the characters is brilliantly drawn as well, but to me, it's the psychology of the character, the main character, that really pulls me into this story. story. This one really struck me, Tanya Byrne, Heart-Shaped Bruise, and in a similar kind of way, completely different story. It's about a girl who's been accused of a crime. Did she do it? Didn't she? Why did she do it? But to me, it's all the psychology of it, of inside the character's head that I just love. Here's another one that is outside my zone of what I would normally pick up to read, but I really loved, and it's Bone Talk by Candy Gourlay. So very historical. So that's not my thing at all. And I sort of started thinking, oh, I'll give it a try, and I was just totally sucked into the world inside of it. And it does also have that element of everything being bigger than the characters, you know, what's happening in their world historically and how things are going to change. So I really liked that a lot. Oh, and one by Sarah Crossan, the first novel that I read. It's amazing, you know, about conjoined twins and what happens to them if they get separated, you know, how they would change and how they are so much part of each other. The psychology of it, again, I love, but I love reading verse novels. It's a real guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know if that's the right term, but there's another one I would hold up if I had it, but I haven't got a copy of it yet, which is Wrecked by Louisa Reed. And that is also, it's just amazing, such an emotional punch again. And finally, I've got Will Hill's After the Fire. And I wasn't sure I was going to include this one or not, but then I started thinking about how much I've thought about it since I read it, and just totally had to include it in here, to do with a cult and, you know, a girl that comes out of it, and there's this tragic thing that happens. It's a fire, as you probably guessed from the title. And the thing that really I loved about this is the psychology of the character again, this whole idea of cognitive dissonance, where everything that you can see with your eyes and hear tells you that something is reality, but you can't accept it because of other things inside you, and you just keep rejecting it until finally you can't do that anymore. And I think he just portrayed that brilliantly. So that's some of my favorite books, and like I said, I'm going to try to get this down to 3, which is going to be incredibly difficult. And if you have any favorite books you'd like to sort of comment on about, that would be fantastic. So thanks. Bye.